What happens when one of the greatest writers of great plays that were romantic but also tragic falls for a lovely noblewoman who auditions for a role in his latest play and soon finds a new life entitled? Easy. You've got this award winning film right here. Here's my review of Shakespeare in Love. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome again to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. I'm the Big D, and this time around, I bring to you a review of the 1998 romantic comedy period flick Shakespeare in Love, released by Miramax along with Universal, directed by John Madden, written by Mark Norman and Tom Stoppard. Starring Gwyneth Paltrow, Joseph Fiennes, Geoffrey Rush, Colin Firth, Ben Affleck, and Dame Judi Dench. The film depicts a fictional love affair involving playwright William Shakespeare and Viola de Lesseps during the writing of Romeo and Juliet. Several characters are based on historical figures, and many of the characters, lines, and plot devices allude to Shakespeare's plays. The film was released on December 11th, 1998 in the US before it was released a month later the following year in the UK. It eventually became a big success and going on to win numerous awards. Let's get into the story. In 1593 London, William Shakespeare is a sometime player in the Lord Chamberlain's Men Actor Company and playwright for the Rose Theatre owner Philip Henslowe. Suffering from writer's block with a new comedy, Romeo and Ethel, the pirate's daughter, Shakespeare attempts to seduce Rosaline, mistress of Richard Burbage, owner of the rival Korean theater, and to convince Burbage to buy the play from Henslowe. Shakespeare receives advice from friend and rival playwright Christopher Marlowe, but is despondent to learn Rosaline is sleeping with master of the revels Edmund Tilney. The desperate Henslowe and deft, ruthless moneylender Fenimore begins auditions anyway. Viola de Lesseps, daughter of a wealthy merchant who has seen Shakespeare's plays at court, disguises herself as a man named Thomas Kent to audition. Kent gains Shakespeare's interest with a speech from two gentlemen of Verona, but runs away when Shakespeare questions her. He pursues Kent to Viola's house and leaves a note with her nurse, asking Kent to begin rehearsals at the Rose. Shakespeare sneaks into a ball at the house where Viola's parents arrange her betrothal to Lord Wessex, an aristocrat in need of money. Dancing with Viola, Shakespeare is struck speechless. Confronted by Wessex, Shakespeare introduces himself as Christopher Marlowe. Wessex ejects Marlowe and threatens to kill him. Shakespeare finds Viola on her balcony where they confess their mutual attraction before he's discovered by her nurse and flees. Sorry, everyone. I always had to clear my throat. Inspired by Viola, Shakespeare quickly transforms the play into what will become Romeo and Juliet. Rehearsals begin with Thomas Kent as Romeo, the leading tragedian Ned Allen as Mercutio, and the stage-struck Fenimore in a small role. After Shakespeare discovers Viola's true identity, they begin a secret affair. Viola is summoned to court to receive approval for her proposed marriage to Wessex. Shakespeare accompanies her, disguised as her nurse's female cousin, and anonymously persuades Wessex in public to wager £50 that a play can capture the true nature of love, the amount Shakespeare requires to buy a share in the Chamberlain's men. Queen Elizabeth I declares that she will judge the matter. Burbage learns Shakespeare has seduced Rosalind and cheated him out of payment for the play and starts a brawl at the Rose with his company. The Rose players repel Burbage and his men and celebrate at the pub, where a drunken Henslow lets slip that, well, to Viola, that Shakespeare is married, albeit separated from his wife. News arrives that Marlowe has been murdered. A guilt-ridden Shakespeare assumes Wessex had Marlowe killed, believing him to be Viola's lover, while Viola believes Shakespeare to be the victim. Shakespeare appears at her church, allaying Viola's fears and terrifying Wessex, who believes he is a ghost. Viola confesses her love for Shakespeare, but both recognize she cannot escape her duty to marry Wessex. John Webster, an unpleasant boy who hangs around the theater, spies on Shakespeare and Viola making love and informs Tilney, who closes the roads for breaking the ban on women actors. Viola's identity exposed, leaving Shakespeare without a stage or a lead actor until Burbage offers his theater and the heartbroken Shakespeare takes the role of Romeo. Following her wedding, Viola learns that the play will be performed that day and runs away to the curtain. She overhears that the boy playing Juliet cannot perform, his voice having broken, and Henslow asks her to replace him. She plays Juliet to Shakespeare's Romeo to an enthralled audience. Excuse me. Now for the ending. As always, you know the procedure. You have 5 seconds to stop this video at once. Go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below. As I count down now, if you've seen this movie already, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. Just after the play has concluded, Tilney arrives to arrest everyone for indecency due to Viola's presence, but the Queen reveals herself in attendance and restrains him, pretending that Kent is a man with a remarkable resemblance to a woman. Powerless to end a lawful marriage, she orders Viola to sail with Wessex to Virginia. The Queen also tells Wessex, whom Webster reveals has followed Viola to the theater, that Romeo and Juliet has won the bet for Shakespeare, and asks Kent to deliver his £50 to Shakespeare with instructions to write something more cheerful next time for Twelfth Night. Viola and Shakespeare say their goodbyes, and he vows to immortalize her as he imagines the beginning of Twelfth Night, showing a woman named Viola disguised as a man after a voyage to a strange land. End of story. So, what did I think of Shakespeare in Love? Well, it's been a long time since I last saw this film. I just finished watching it for the first time in who knows how long. I will say this is a pretty good film. I actually forgot how good this film was. Sure, it's kind of a little, well, a woman going disguised as a man, but hey, I've seen it done before, and even in later films and what have you. But I've got to say, it's absolutely incredible. But anyway, had a lot of stuff going on. But anyway, the film was among 1999's box office #1 films in the UK. It did pretty decent enough. The film went on to make 289 million worldwide on its $25 million budget. The film sits at 92% on Rotten Tomatoes, where they say it's endlessly witty, visually rapturous, and sweetly romantic. The film is a delightful romantic comedy that succeeds on nearly every level. Metacritic has a score of 87, and Audience's Public Cinema score given an A. Janet Maslin of the New York Times made the film an NYT critics pick, calling it pure enchantment. And according to her, she says Gwyneth Paltrow, in her first great fully realized starring performance, makes a heroine so breathtaking that she seems utterly plausible at the playwright's guiding light. Yes, this is what really made Gwyneth Paltrow a big star and what have you, even after she had done some other films before this. Roger Ebert gave this 4 out of 4 stars, saying the contemporary feel of the humor, like Shakespeare's coffee mug inscribed Souvenir of Stratford upon Avon, makes the movie play like a contest between Masterpiece Theater and Mel Brooks. Then the movie stars in a sweet love story, juicy court intrigue, backstage politics, and some lovely moments from Romeo and Juliet. Is this a movie or an anthology? I didn't care. I was carried along by the wit, the energy, and a surprising sweetness. David Cronenberg was critical of the film, unfortunately, saying it really annoyed me, and it was deconstructionist filmmaking, but it's also just Romeo and Juliet again. The Sunday Telegraph claimed that the film prompted the revival of the title of Earl of Wessex. Prince Edward was originally to have been titled Duke of Cambridge, following his marriage to Sophie Rhys-Jones in 1999, the year after the film's release. However, after watching the film, he reportedly became attracted to the title of the character played by Colin Firth and asked his mother, Queen Elizabeth II, to be given the title of Earl of Wessex instead. Well, anyway, I thought this still proved to be very good. Anyway, this was really something. Anyway, it did very well. It got nominated for a ton of awards at the British Academy Film Awards, winning Best Editing, Best Actress in a Supporting Role for Dame Judi Dench. Geoffrey Rush won Best Actor in a Supporting Role, beating out Tom Wilkinson, and Best Film. It also got nominated for Golden Globes, winning three for Best Screenplay, Best Actress in a Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy for Gwyneth Paltrow, and Best Motion Picture. It also won Outstanding Performance by a Cast in a Motion Picture for its big cast at the Screen Actors Guild Awards. And Gwyneth Paltrow won Outstanding Performance by a Female Actor in a Leading Role at the same awards. However, it did get nominated for some Academy Awards as well. Unfortunately, though, it sparked controversy as it won. Uh, well, several of them. Well, for some of those, it got nominated for too many. Gwyneth Paltrow won Best Actress. Judi Dench won Best Supporting Actress. The film also won Best Screenplay, written directly for the screen, Best Art Direction, Best Costume Design, Best Original Musical or Comedy Score. However, it sparked controversy when it won the big one, Best Picture, controversially defeating the critically favored Saving Private Ryan and becoming the first comedy to win that award, that Best Picture award in over 20 years since Annie Hall. And the Academy's decision was criticized by many for giving the award to the film over Saving Private Ryan. Well, I completely do understand, but hey, I still liked it just because. Still, I have to give it credit and what have you. It has been released on physical media numerous times. It's also been seen on streaming services, so you'll have no trouble with finding this film. It's even been put into a stage adaptation, and there's even been one in Japan. Even incredible, huh? Yeah. The film's score was composed by Stephen Warbeck, which, well, did a pretty good job. For the cast, we have Joseph Fiennes in the role of William Shakespeare. I must admit, he was very good. We have Paltrow as Viola, very good. This is probably one of her many great performances. Geoffrey Rush played Philip Henslow, very good performance. Colin Firth played Lord Wessex. I say he was good. Ben Affleck as Ned Allen, very good. Yeah, you. I bet you were surprised to hear that name mentioned a film like this. Dame Judi Dench played Queen Elizabeth I. She did good. Simon Callow played Edmund Tilney, good. Oh, and believe me, the list goes on. Tom Wilkinson as Hugh Feynman, good. There's even some names we would later hear, well, with of actors we would see in films, most notably the Harry Potter franchise later on. Like we have Imelda Staunton, who will later play Professor Umbridge in Order of the Phoenix as Viola's nurse, and Mark Williams, who played Ron Weasley's dad, he plays the character of Wabash. Oh, the list goes on with these. But anyway, from my point of view, I think Shakespeare in Love is so good in my view. After revisiting the film for the first time in years, I realized I just feel bad that I never did revisit this again. I had watched it maybe a few times on the Stars Network a long time ago, but after that, I never did watch the film again until just more recently. And after watching it, it made me remember some things I remembered seeing in the film. But anyway, at this point, it's really good. The cast is exceptionally good, especially Gwyneth Paltrow, who I absolutely loved in her performance. Hmm. Yeah. So Shakespeare in Love is definitely a masterpiece. Would I recommend it? The answer would be hell yeah, go for it. This is a great film. You won't be disappointed if you see this. But if you're not into this one, well, I can't say I didn't try. So, what did you think of Shakespeare in Love? Let me know in the comments section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel, and you know the rest. Join me next time when I bring to you my spoiler-free review of the film I just saw earlier today. If you haven't seen my out theater reaction, which I fixed at the title because I don't know how the hell the I had a typo in it, and that will be the new animated film Goat. Look for that coming up soon. Oh, and also look for another out of theater reaction coming tomorrow, where I'll be checking out another new film out in theaters called Crime 101. So if you like this, check out some of these other takes of Shakespeare. In the upper left-hand corner, check out my review of William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet with Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes from 1996. Or you can go to the upper right-hand corner and check out my review of a kind of a semi-Romeo and Juliet type story, but only focusing on Romeo's ex-lover in Rosaline from 2021, or you can go to the bottom left hand corner and see my review of the film that easily swept the Oscars a year prior before Shakespeare in Love winning the Best Picture, and that would be Titanic. In the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe if you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc. Then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.